Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. CHGO Bears training camp coverage presented by Ray Chevrolet. Shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since the year Carman was born, 1963. Together, let's drive. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Nicholas Moreano with you today. No Greg Braggs Jr. because it was a closed practice. That means they don't let him in. It's too bad. I thought we'd start a Monday with a shot at Carm, though. That should make Greg happy.
You know, it's like the fourth shot today on my age, so it's kind of getting old, but you're certainly like it just rolls off the tongue now. So I'm very happy to see you just comfortable being the ageist. You're officially an ageist. You're an ageist.
Well, Mark, you kind of play into it sometimes, too. You're talking about old stadiums earlier today and what you kind of wanted to see in some of these old stadiums. And I don't know. It's like back and forth with you sometimes.
Listen to me, Nicholas. My injured softball teammate who can't stay healthy and be on the field. Don't you, just because I love troughs and want smelly urinals and $2 hot dogs and sugar ropes like they used to have back in the day for $1. Just because I want all that stuff does not mean that I am not the youthful Carm that you love deep down. Damn it! Thank you.
I'm team trough. I like trough. They're efficient. You get in and out. Just take care of your own business. Be clean about it. Don't be an idiot. They work perfectly.
Get in, get out, get back. Let's go. Come on, chop. Enough of this pristine action in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Thanks, Braggs. Appreciate you, buddy. He's in the chat saying, yes, start the show with a shot at Carm for those in the audio world. And here comes Pizzitola, his cousin.
They probably are cousins.
They might be cousins. They might be the same person. Braggs is Pizzitola. Pizzitola is Braggs. All right, go ahead, Hoge.
Best and worst. Let's jump in. Set the scene. Rainy morning in Lake Forest and much of the Chicago area, and the Bears opted to practice inside. Wasn't completely surprised. I think if this has been a full padded, longer practice, I think they would have practiced in the rain, but because they were coming off an off day, and it's always sort of a lighter practice, no pads, coming off an off day, it made sense to go inside today. So that didn't necessarily surprise me. So we were inside. It was a little shorter practice, no pads, no fans, just to set the scene. But it was still important that the Bears correct their issues operationally from Saturday. We talked about it on Saturday's show, all the mistakes, all the penalties, all the false starts. So my best from today's practice was that a lot of that was cleaned up. Was it a great execution practice from the offense? We can get into that a little bit. But when it comes to the operation, getting in and out of the huddle, the cadences, not having pre-snap penalties, it was much, much better. Today, Shane Waldron lauded his guys for, taking that into the day off and working on it and coming back. We got to watch from our vantage point. When they're inside the Walter Payton Center, we get kind of like a balcony view a little bit to look over the field. And the offensive line was like kind of right below us as they were going through their individual drills. And you could tell the coaches were throwing different cadences at them, at the offensive linemen, and they were working through it. Like, they were not always right. They were sometimes jumping a little early, but you could tell that they were really made this an effort to drill that home after what we saw over the weekend. And overall, for them to take that to team periods as a unit and clean that up, that was my best of the day. My worst, Carm's guy, Velus Jones Jr.
Ooh.
Got to catch the ball, man. He had one throw from Caleb that was not perfect, but in my opinion, catchable in the end zone. They did a lot of low red zone stuff today. And then the second one was just a blatant drop that turned into an interception. Who was that again that intercepted? That one was 21. Jalen Jones had the interception after a straight-up drop touchdown by Velus Jones Jr. So for a guy who I don't think is necessarily on the bubble, because I think his kick return ability will keep him on this team with the new rule. But, man, if you're keeping him around, you want to find a way to use him on offense, and you can't be dropping wide-open touchdowns. So that was my worst.
Yeah, and listen, I've been jumping on the Velas train, and today was a day you wanted to jump off. The interception, the second one, the ball was thrown perfectly with not a lot on it, and I really don't know how he dropped it, but it popped straight up out of his hands, and Jalen with the interception. That was rough, and then the rest of the practice wasn't much better. The dude's been, in my mind, has been having a great training camp, but he was not great today. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, we'll start with my best, you guys. I have to go with Caleb Williams' touchdown throw to Rome Odunze in the back left corner of the end zone. I was charting everything that Rome Odunze was doing throughout the practice. I didn't even see him where he lined up on the play until he breaks open, and Caleb puts this ball in a spot where only Rome can catch it because two defenders literally sandwiched Rome Odunze right when he caught the football. So the ball was thrown perfectly. Rome was able to catch the ball in traffic. So it was just a really good overall play from the two, top 10 picks right there. So nice connection there. My worst, you guys, and I think, I don't know, a little bit before the practice, I was talking about Montez Sweat, but also Darnell Wright. Like, at this point in camp, and the Bears were not in full pads, but Darnell Wright cannot block Montez Sweat. It's just not happening. I mean, Montez Sweat has to let up now because he's like he can't touch the quarterback. He can't do that, but he is getting back into the backfield at such a fast rate that you're just wondering, like, where's Darnell Wright attempting to block this guy? I get it. Montez Sweat's going to be a really good pass rusher for this Bears team, but we just need to see a little bit more resistance from Darnell Wright, especially when the pads come on. So my worst right now is just how Darnell Wright has faced against Montez Sweat. When maybe pads get back on, we'll see it'll become a little bit better. But as of right now, it's all Montez Sweat all day.
See, I've had too much of my focus on the receivers and the quarterback, so I got to start watching the interior line more. But once you pointed that out today, Nick, it was, you nailed it. Montez Sweat basically just walked himself to the quarterback. It's like, all right, fine, I'll stop. I won't hit you, Caleb, but I could if I wanted to.
There was one of those moments where, like, I thought we were going to have another Montez gets kicked out of a drill moment because he was there to swipe the football out, and he, to his credit, again, making corrections from Saturday, just like the cadence stuff. He was like, oh, I wanted to get that football so bad. That's a tough thing, man. When you're drilling this, get ball all the time, and you're like, but don't do it, when you might kill the quarterback. That's a tough thing.
Yeah, don't actually get the ball. All right, let me jump into my best and worst. You know what? I'm going to shout out my guy. I believe he wears number 17. He's the backup quarterback. And I thought he was having a lovely day despite Hoge's look on his face right now, which I don't exactly know why. But there was a sweet quarterback draw from Bagent today where he just waltzed into the end zone, put the hands up a la Bagent. And it was, Hoge can want to leave the podcast all he wants. But it was a great moment of the day. I enjoyed it. The Bagent QB draw. That's right, Hoge. That's right. There was a lot of Caleb had a great throw to Keenan. Caleb had a great throw to Rome, but that's just old hat, I mean, and yeah, Bagent on the move is kind of old hat too. But I'm going to shout out my guy, and then my worst. I spent the first 15 minutes of practice looking for Nate Davis. Where is 64? Is he back? After the Flus called him out in his press conference on Saturday saying, talking all about availability, and they're moving Ryan Bates over to guard, and which puts Coleman Shelton at center. And I watched Flus during warm-ups. Now, this means nothing, but he spent like a bunch of time with Coleman Shelton as they were stretching, and they were just him and Coleman Shelton were having a long talk. Who could have been about what they had for lunch, but I don't know. The Nate Davis thing. If he misses a week right now, it almost takes him out of the equation because you can't not have Shelton working with the center while he's out. So it's going to turn into, who do you want to play, Bates or Davis? And you're going to play Bates. And Davis is going to be getting $10 million to sit on the bench if he doesn't get back on the field fairly quick. So I was hoping I would see him on the field today, and I couldn't find him. And he obviously wasn't practicing, so that ain't great.
No, the availability thing for him, like it's still training camp, and But you just need to see him out there. Like Eberflus is a practice guy. Like you got to practice to play, and for Nate Davis, that it's starting now. He was on a nice little like track record too for like consistent practices, and then he's kind of reverting to the old Nate Davis.
Well, yeah, until the pads went on, and then something pops up right away, And again, I think it's important to point out what Matt Eberflus said. Availability is everything in this league. You've got to be able to practice, and you've got to be able to go through hard in terms of doing hard better during training camp. That's all part of preparing for the first part of the season, being able to do that, to callous yourself. That's your individual responsibility to the football team. And when you're not out there, guess what? That doesn't happen. Availability is important at every position. Sometimes guys get injured. That's the way it goes, but they have to get back as fast as possible. To me, there's a lot of competition on this roster. And that was in context to a question about Nate Davis.
Yeah, he didn't hold back. I clearly the Flus has taken the gloves off as far as the way I heard that last year in training camp. It's fine. Guys missing time. They got to get them 100%, get them work. Yeah, no, we're seeing, I think, more of the real Flus and the urgency that the Bears feel to start out the season a whole lot better than they did last year. And so, no, am I going too far?
No, and I don't like that it's July 29th. And I'll just speak for myself right now. I don't like how uneasy I feel about the interior of this offensive line. Mm-hmm. When it was such a glaring issue last year, when you had this mission all offseason to do everything you can to insulate Caleb Williams, your new quarterback. You got him all the weapons, yes. But, for July 29th to be like, we're still talking about Nate Davis availability and what it looks like when he's not out there. And this is why I keep coming back to, at this point, I don't care if Ryan Bates is playing center or he's playing guard. He better be good. For the sake of Caleb Williams, because this was the big move. This was the big move of the offseason that Ryan Poles pulled off, trading a 5th-round pick for him. And I don't know how you can't be nervous. And now the good news, you still have time. You still have time to add guys, and you could still pull off a trade at some point. But for every day that goes by, we had Caleb Williams talk about how they're at the end of install period right now. Mm-hmm. So you're going to bring in another center. You're going to bring in another guard. They're going to need time to get up to speed with everything that you're doing here. The cadence issues we're talking about, you got to learn all that stuff. So it's got me. There's a lot of good things about this offseason. A lot of great things that Ryan Poles has obviously done here. The overall arrow is pointed pretty much straight up. But we're talking about protecting Caleb Williams. We're talking about giving him time to throw and process what he's looking at and make the correct decisions. And it all starts up front. And I'm nervous right now.
Well, we're going to get to some sound from Caleb coming up about, we got one clip pulled about what he's most concerned about, which kind of, or where he feels like the most behind, which sort of plays into the offensive line, at least a little bit. Real quick, before we welcome in our fine people that make this show possible, we got lemonade today. We got the Flus lemonade. Kevin Warren went around to the media over the weekend and asked, what do you guys need? Josh Schrock, NBC Sports Chicago, said, we need lemonade. Warren said, I'm going to deliver. And the next thing you know, we show up today, and there's a Gatorade bucket full of Flus lemonade. Can I get a rating on the lemonade here, team? Did you try it? Did you like it? What do we got?
Yeah, I had it. Not too sweet. I thought it was a really good lemonade. So I think Kevin Warren, Matt Eberflus did their job and sticking to their word and providing the media with some lemonade. Good job by them.
But when I got in there, it was a little too early for lemonade, too early in the morning. Not really a beverage I have that early. So I don't know if I just wasn't feeling it yet. So I would have given it a 4 out of 10 pre-practice. But, post-practice, especially with lunch, I'd probably say it was more like a 7.5. It was a good lemonade, and I have a feeling that if we had been outside today in the hot sun, that post-practice lemonade probably would have been more like a 9.5.
See, that's where I go. You guys came through with the lemonade, but the execution was premature. You needed to wait for the media to be outside, hot day, bust out the lemonade, Next thing you know, greatest day ever covering the Bears, drinking this amazing Flus lemonade. Rainy day, inside, not that hot, less needed. It was a poor rollout.
You're saying it was premature lemonation?
It was a premature lemonation. You needed to hang in there a little bit longer, and you just didn't.
I'm not putting this on the Bears. I give them credit for coming through. I put this on Josh Rock. He had the president of the whole thing right there, and he asked for lemonade. How about some beer? How about some bourbon? Like, let's go next level here. You're asking for lemonade. I mean, I'm not putting this on the Bears at all. This is on the media room. This is on the request.
Well, if I had said to Kevin there, okay, timeout, Nick. Yes, timeout.
We got to take time out. I think Adam has to,
do something.
Take this conversation to the next level here.
Flus did. It was, bottom line, as we wrap this up, we'll maybe touch on it later. Thank you, Matt Eberflus. Very nice of you guys, despite our tongue-in-cheek disappointment that we had it in the cold of Hellas Hall and not the outdoor warmth.
We're having fun with it, just like I'm sure they are, by even delivering the lemonade, which all started as a joke from Flus anyway, but they delivered. All right, here's another product that always delivers. That's Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on Game Time, they actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, especially with White Sox games. You can pretty much get them for 30 cents, which was what the tickets cost the year Carman was born. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And, of course, they're not just for MLB. That you can get seats for pretty much any team you root for, not just sports, though, concerts, comedy events. Game Time always comes through with last-minute tickets. They have flash deals, zone deals, so you can purchase just sort of in a general area of the stadium. You're not going to know your exact seat until closer to game time, but you're getting a huge discount by doing that. You still know the general area that you're going to be in, so that's another great way to go if you're looking to save some money. Go through Game Time. Easy to find and buy MLB tickets, and for every kind of event in your area, always go check out Game Time with their all-in pricing. Toggle that feature. Shows the total upfront. No surprise fees. We all hate surprise fees, especially when it comes to tickets. So they're going to give you your total right away. You can see it. Lowest price guarantee. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just go create an account on Game Time. You can redeem the code CHGO. You'll get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed.
Go check out Game Time. I need everybody to also check out Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, which is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. One-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Great transparent loyalty program, the Sunnyside Rewards, and let me just highlight a couple of Sunnyside's house of brands here. You have High Supply, and High Supply offers quality weed that's always available. Buds are expertly grown, lab tested, and available in vape carts, vape pens, flour, popcorn, shake, pre-roll shorties, and concentrates. And, of course, you have Good News, which gives you your gummies, your rechargeable vape pen, and a cart perfect for great moments with the crew. Here's the most important part for everybody. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
All right, we're going to talk some Caleb Williams in 1 second, but I do want to remind people that today is the day. Neil Kitson, who is the director of the U.S. Open Ball crew, will be with us on the show in about 30 minutes to give me my fate as to whether or not I will be able to join the U.S. Open Ball crew for 2024 this year. And I'm very nervous about it. I'm very excited about talking to Neil. We kind of buried the lead on a big day of Bears practice, and this is a Bears show, so maybe we didn't, but I feel like we did.
Leave it to Carm to bring that up before bringing up that Zack Pickens is also joining the show today. Bears player. He plays for the Chicago Bears. He talked to Nicholas Moreano today. We will talk to Zack Pickens before we talk to the president of the Ball Boy Association of the world.
Registered me guy right here. This is about me.
Yeah.
This is about me at 2:50. And then Nick had this interview with Zack Pickens, which is amazing, I'm sure, and it's coming up in 15 minutes.
Also, shout out to Marco, Philip, Jose, and Daniel, our brand new CHGO diehard. You can become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard. And among many perks, including a brand new t-shirt you get for free when you sign up, 20% off all merch, 20% off all events. You also get our Bears Things newsletter in your inbox every morning of training camp following a practice. And there'll be another one tomorrow. So if you want to go sign up to be a diehard, you could do that right now. allchgo.com/diehard. And while you're thinking about that, 20% off all events. How about our golf outing next month at Cog Hill? It's coming up. Go check it out on our events page, allchgo.com. Grab a foursome. We'll be out there. We're going to have a good time. It's on a Friday right before football starts. The CHGO Kickoff Classic coming on August 23rd with a 9 a.m. shotgun start. And shout out to all the sponsors involved with that: Circa, Coors Light, Shady Rays, Whirly Ball, Seltz Up, and we love everyone coming out right before the football season starts. We get one big, nice golf outing before we dive all the way in to football.
All right. Very excited for Cog Hill. Can't wait to see people out there. Can't wait to get that out there myself. Let's hear from Caleb Williams here because we got to hear from Caleb today. There's a lot of ground that we can cover. But let's just start out here. He was asked about whether or not he wants to play in the Hall of Fame game. This was the interaction with the media earlier today.
I think it's pretty awesome to be at Kent.
I'm going to restart that. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Tee it up again, Carm.
Take two. Caleb, do you want to play in the Hall of Fame game? We want you to.
Get a chance to voice your opinion?
I don't know if I'll be able to voice it at this point and at my time and this point. So
let's play it one more time, Steven, just from the top.
Have they told you if you're playing on Thursday? Have they told you?
They haven't told me yet. Don't know. I would love to get out there and play. It's pretty awesome to be at Canton. But, it's coach's decision.
Do you think you'll get a chance to voice your opinion?
I don't know if I'll be able to voice it at this point and at my time and this point. So.
All right, so he'd love to play. He doesn't sound like he's going to offer up his opinion, even though they probably know that he wants to play. And he's also talking about like the pros and cons that, more reps are good, worth the risk. Do you think they're going to listen to him, team?
Well, I think the interesting part about all of those questions today that he was asked about wanting to play or whatever is that he wants the reps. And he said there's way more pros than cons to playing in the preseason. In his mind, I think we would all agree that for a rookie, that's definitely the case. I think, if you look at it from the standpoint of should he play or should he not play on Thursday, this is a bonus preseason game. And even if we go back to when they had 4 preseason games as on the regular, instead of now it being 3, they just happen to have a 4th this year. Back to when we always had 4 preseason games to cover, these guys didn't play all 4 games then either. So, I'm not going to put too much stock in this either way. I think what was interesting is he said that he has not been told yet if he's playing. And so, that kind of answered Matt Eberflus said he would tell us Tuesday, but do they already know and they're just not telling us until Tuesday? No, it sounds like this is still a discussion up to today, and they'll probably finalize all this stuff tonight and give everybody the game plan for the next few days. So that tells me they're at least considering it. They're at least considering, okay, we've had these amount of practices so far. Here's where we're doing well. We feel like we can protect him. That's a huge aspect of it, probably the most important aspect of it. And I'm good with it either way, because if they don't play him, guys, they get another 10 days until the next game, and that's just that much more practice time to get more comfortable with everything before you throw them out there. Then again, you want to get out there and test these cadences and the operational stuff a little bit for like one series, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think it's all going to really depend on, too, who's available on that offensive line. At this point, you're rotating Coleman Sheldon, Ryan Bates. Nate Davis isn't practicing yet. So I think if you're the Bears, you want to put him out there during the preseason at some point, obviously, but doing so with the actual best line in front of him, because at this point, like Braxton Jones, a couple practices ago was in and out of team reps. So you want to make sure he's available. You want to make sure you have the center that you want to play out there. And then if Nate Davis is healthy enough to play. So I think that's really a big thing too that the Bears are considering before they're putting Caleb Williams out there. Who is the line, even if it's just for a series, who's going to be the line that's actually up there with him? So bunch of different factors, and again, he values these reps. He'll get them at some point. I just don't think it happens in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that they don't play him because they're practicing on Wednesday. It seems like just unlikely that you would schedule it that way. But since they've had so many operational issues and we are just trying to get this off the ground, him running 3 running plays, if not 6, to me makes sense because they got a ways to go here. So, and then he was asked today, where do you think you're the furthest away? And I thought he gave a pretty detailed, interesting answer. Here it was.
My blitz and coverage looks, and feeling the umbrella of the defense, and filling that out to adjust, to adjust protection, to adjust, whether it's a run, flip the, run into it, flip the protection, get to a quick game, get to a cover 0 check, however the structure of it works out, just progressing. And a lot of that comes with seeing it and reps. And so that's why also, preseason and, those things are so important.
I got like 6 reactions to that.
Go, yeah,
Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right, the first one is, and that we couldn't really put it in the audio clip because it would have just been a long period of silence and ums and hesitation, because Caleb took a long time to get to that answer. He really, and we've seen this when we've talked about this before, he is very careful and thoughtful and purposeful with all of his answers. Like, he will sort of digest a question and make sure he answers it. And I think you always, in those types of questions, want to be careful about, not just giving everybody meat to chew on. Like, here's the thing I need to work on the most, and then all of a sudden it becomes a problem, and then as it persists to be a problem, it just becomes a thing. So I thought that was a very mature response, and also gave us a lot of insight into what the Bears are asking him to do. Now, everything he mentioned there, it's a lot, but it's also, for an NFL offense, there's nothing groundbreaking there in what they're asking these quarterbacks to do. However, not all rookies or young quarterbacks, or even quarterbacks that are failing to live up to expectations, a lot of them have to have that stuff dumbed down and not have the same amount of freedoms to do everything he just listed there. And maybe there'll come a time where Caleb's struggling with it and they're in the regular season and they don't allow him to do all that stuff. But as we hear it right now on July 29th, as they're at the end of their initial install phase, they're asking him to do a lot, and he's trying to get through a lot. So I just hope that gives everybody some idea of everything he's dealing with right now and why you might be seeing some operational issues from time to time as they work through all this in training camp.
Well, the blitz pickup was interesting because there was a rep in the practice that we were, last time they were actually in full pads, and it was one of Caleb's best plays, I think, of training camp, where TJ Edwards came off the left edge and Caleb's running right and hits Gerald Everett on a dart. So, I mean, obviously you recognize where the blitz was coming from, was able to make a play off of that, but knowing that that's still an area of focus for Caleb, as it will be for any rookie coming into the NFL, knowing where your blitz pickups are at, like, that's a key area that I think can determine whether or not you're going to be successful on a given down. So it's a key area for focus for him, and obviously as he gets more acquainted with the offense, learning the umbrellas of the defense, like you mentioned, he'll be able to figure those things out.
To me, a lot of that, what I like about it is that he seems to know where he's at. Like, some guys think they're God's greatest gift and the best podcaster ever, and they really aren't. I'm not talking about me, but I could be talking about me. Like, he's aware, okay, I am not as comfortable on the blitz as I could be. I can articulate it. The thing about it, though, is he's talking about preseason games. They're not going to, be busting out their top blitzes to try to confuse him in the preseason game. So he's going to have to learn this in the regular season. It's not going to look good. Some fans are going to freak out. It's going to be a rookie quarterback learning on the job, which is why the Bears' range of possibilities this year is so wide. And it's just going to be how quickly can he, digest everything, come up to speed, and to how we sort of started the whole show, how much protection is in front of him to allow him to not be perfect versus have somebody eating his nose after, 1.8 seconds or whatever it's going to be.
Real quick, Nick, you have a problem if he plays Thursday?
I don't have a problem. I just don't expect him to.
Carm?
No, I want him to play, and I'm not going to freak out if he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't care either way. That's my answer.
Yeah,
I'm good with it either way.
I mean,
it's the Hall of Fame game.
I think he should play, but I don't. And I think the offensive line should play. Whoever the hell is healthy.
Well, I think you should go to Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. Is what I think. You should make Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram your number one draft pick this summer. Find a perfect new car for you. This July, shop a wider selection of vehicles at Ray CDJR and score new lower prices across their huge inventory during the Make This the Summer event. For a limited time, lease the new 2024 Jeep Compass Latitude Luxe for only $189 a month. Or you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price. Because with Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing now are the same prices you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today. Shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Then you can drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Hoge, do you like a great deal?
Of course.
Nick, great deal. You like him?
Absolutely.
Well, we all love a great deal as much as the next guy, but I don't think any of us are really going to crawl through, let's call it a bed of hot coals just to save a couple of dollars. It's got to be easy. Let's not jump through any hoops. No BS, right? That's why I love our friends at Mint Mobile. It's the easiest way to get wireless. Pause, listen, everybody tune in. $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. That's right, $15 a month. It turns out that, it's really simple to get this deal. Again, $15 a month. Largest part of the process, you got to break up with your old provider. But all you got to do to get started, go to mintmobile.com/CHGO, mintmobile.com/CHGO, and there you'll see that right now, all 3-month plans, $15 a month. That's including the unlimited plan. And all plans, they come with the high-speed data, the unlimited talk, the text delivered, the nation's largest 5G network as well. Find out how easy it is to switch to Mint Mobile. Get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your 3-month premium wireless plan for $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/CHGO. That is mintmobile.com/CHGO. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month. Mintmobile.com/CHGO. It's $45 upfront payment required. New customers on a first 3-month plan only. Speed slower, above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, well, throughout training camp, Nicholas Moreano is talking to different Bears players and getting their perspective on where they're at in their careers, how training camp's going, all types of things. And for this edition, Nick, you sat down with Zack Pickens. You want to set this up?
Yeah, I made sure to sit down with Zack Pickens because if I stood next to the guy, I would look like a small child. But, yes, we talked about, his rookie season.
Which is what
ahead.
Jeff Joniak called Mark Carman this morning.
That's right. That started off a heated start to your day, Mark.
Well, I just came in with appreciation of rugby, and JJ didn't love it, and then I said, "You're conflating the issue," and he said, "That's a big word for a small man," and I said, "I'll see you on the CHGO Bears Podcast." Okay, I didn't say that part, but I would love to have Jeff Joniak on our show. Anyway, back to you, Nick. That did happen. Is the point. I was called a small man.
So, Zach, we talked about his rookie season, expectations for this season, what it's like been playing with Caleb Williams. So, a bunch of good stuff in here. And here's my interview with Zack Pickens. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Zack Pickens, Chicago Bears defensive lineman. Zach, obviously, you have a preseason game in a couple days, but I don't even want to get into football right now. What was the highlight of your summer?
Just going back home, training, getting really used to my body and how it moves, trying to better my game for the Bears and for my career. So going back home, working out, going to see family, seeing my friends, just going back home was what I needed.
Gotcha. What's the best part of you being back home? You said mentioning your friends. Is it home cooking? Like, what can you say about being back home?
Every time I go back home, it's something new. My mom cook a big old meal for me and my brother, or for me whenever I come home. Seeing friends that I haven't seen almost in a long time, and we just catch up and laugh about old times. Then my city Anderson is growing by itself. It's actually coming to like such a nice place now, better than what I saw. But we're growing, new buildings. It's just new stuff every time I go home.
Gotcha, man. Now, I feel that. You said you also wanted to get your body into what, like the Bears, kind of what you need to be for the Bears. What do you mean by that? So what did you kind of do to change your body?
I didn't like how heavy I was. I was like close to 310. Now I took that weight down. I'm close to like 295, 297, trying to be able to, if I need to have like 6-7 play drive that I can manage and not be 2 or 3. Okay, I'm ready, get me out. But I'm doing better with my conditioning, and which we do that a lot here, is conditioning, trying to better prepare for the season.
Gotcha. And as you're kind of learning, I guess like your new body so far, like you've had a couple of training camp practices in pads. How have you felt like you've held up, and just like the heat and everything like that so far?
I held up pretty well. Everything I need to work on. Nothing's never good enough for me. I'm always trying to nitpick, coaches nitpick, and we're trying to get me at the best position to win.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about here, because we're never done until we're done. So it's always room to improve and to grow. And Coach Trav always makes sure that it's something that we can take, something we can learn, something we can use on day-to-day life too.
Gotcha. When you reflect back to your rookie season, Zach, what did you like about what you accomplished in your rookie season, and then also going to 2024 knowing like this is where I can even improve? But what did you like first off?
I really had a good group around me. Jay Jones, Big Bill, learning from them too, and also D-Walk. And then I also had Jalen Johnson. So I had a lot of people in my corner, Dom, like everybody, Lid. We was all, when I needed something or I needed to talk about what I was going through, because I felt like I wasn't doing as much for the team. So I'm like what am I doing wrong? I'm looking back, I'm reflecting, and it was like it's all part of the journey, where sometimes you may not be needed as much as you think you do. And I had to learn that. I had to figure out myself where everything is not going to go my way. And I've learned that, and now I can apply what I learned last year to this year, being on top of what I need to whenever Coach said do it. If I got an issue, fix it. So I'm definitely in a good space where I'm at right now.
Awesome. You mentioned Jalen Johnson as one of those guys. Obviously not in your position group, but is he just a leader not only just for the cornerback group, but it seems like also for one of the members of the entire defense, being just a leader there?
Yes. Whenever we're on the bus, I chop it up with him, and it's just his mind and where he takes stuff is just amazing. So I take something from him, take something from me, take something from somebody else, then make it up to my standard. And I take all of their standards, try to match theirs each and every day.
Gotcha. Now, Zach, kind of going more into the X and O's types of things here. When you see yourself on this defensive line, is there a position you feel most comfortable with? Is it the 1, 3, or is it kind of interchangeable in terms of how you want to play to get the most out of you? Do you feel more comfortable at one position over the other, or how do you feel about that?
Right now, we're moving left and right, so I can be nose, I can be 3. Either or, I feel comfortable this year that we're moving around and we're not just stuck playing one position. So if it comes to it and we need to, I could stay playing nose, and or Dex or Bill could play 3, or vice versa. So that's the beauty of like what we did last year, that we could hold that if we needed to.
Gotcha. And now, Zach, I feel like a lot of Bears fans are talking about, Javon in year 2, obviously what Montez Sweat can do another year in this defense. But why should Bears fans also be mentioning what Zack Pickens can do in your second season in the NFL? I feel like you're almost being a little overlooked or overshadowed when compared to some of your other teammates. But why should Bears fans be thinking, like, what can you do in your second season?
I bring a lot of energy. Once I get opportunity and show them what I can do, the sky's the limit for me. So all last year, that's what I was planning on doing this year, to take the roof off and just ball out, play my game instead of playing into the scheme. Just play how I normally play, because all last year I was playing in the scheme. I was playing the play without making plays. So I'm going to do more this year than I did last year, and that's what we've been working on now, is improving each day.
Gotcha. And what's it been like having Eric Washington in the building? I feel like every time he steps into like the press conference room or anywhere, there's like a presence.
You just feel it.
Right? Okay.
It's just, he brings so much energy and confidence into the room, and like he gets you excited, and then he also coaches you if you need, like, okay, I want you to try this. I see what you're looking at, but I want you to keep your eyes on this. So he's basically like another helper, like with Trav and Bean. So it's just having like a third coach to overlook and watch everything that we're doing to help us be better for the season.
Gotcha. And okay, really weird question here, but listening to the defensive line and hearing Andrew Billings yell "move" right before like the snap,
yes. He's the king of it. He's
the king of it, and I mean, his voice was literally a weapon the other day at practice. Does he? I don't know, teach you guys, or do you guys learn off it, or is that just the Andrew Billings thing?
That's the Andrew Billings thing. Like he feels it whenever they about to snap it. He holds it. He'll move. He gets them every time. I don't know how he do it. I try to do it, and it didn't work. So it's just an Andrew Billings thing. I took it from him too. Whenever we move, I get it from him too. So I don't know how.
Yeah.
But he got. I guess he got a QB voice.
Yeah. It's loud, deep, and again, it works, which is crazy. Zach, really quickly, obviously practicing against Caleb Williams, the offense. What have just been your initial impressions of him so far through a couple practices, and obviously preseason game coming up? But what have been your initial impressions of him?
He's been exciting to watch. He's coming to his own. Whenever you feel like something's not right, he can change it. Like, he's just becoming a quarterback that we expect he would be, and he's very talented. Even Doomsday, he's really talented. Everybody that came in, they came in to work. Book came in to work. All the rookies that came in, they was ready to work. So it's just exciting to watch them play, and it's crazy that I'm in year 2 and I'm watching rookies again. So it's really exciting watching Caleb and watching everybody just to play their game.
For sure. And Zach, I just got one more question for you. At the end of the 2024 season, how will you view it as a success for you personally? What would be a successful season for you look like? It doesn't have to be stat, but like what does that look like for you, do you think?
For me, I guess my goal is this year is try to get a sack each game, because a sack is like a pick for the DBs, because it's very rare, very hard to get to. So if I can get at least one each game, that'll be a good, or even get 9 or 6. This year, I have a better look. I feel better, and I'm like, we can work off this and we can grow from it.
Hey, if you're getting, sack each game, I'm sure Bears fans are going to be
that's
we
the
should have
goal.
been talking more about Zack Pickens in the offseason. But, man, appreciate you for taking the time and wish you the best of luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there he is, Zack Pickens. Nice interview, Nick. And another kind of under-the-radar guy that could make a huge difference this season if he could step up his game in year 2 of his career.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, too, you guys, just in the interview. We've heard a lot about, real quickly, like Jalen Johnson's ascension of being a leader for this team. And, like, a guy like Zack Pickens, like, getting just advice from a guy like Jalen Johnson. Obviously not the same position group, but yeah, that's one of the guys that Zack Pickens will go to talk to, after games or just getting advice. I thought that was really interesting. And also the body weight just becoming a little bit lighter to play the 1 or the 3. It's pretty interchangeable in this defense, what he's being asked to do. So looking forward to seeing what Zack Pickens can do in year 2.
You would not have known he had lost any weight sitting next to Nicholas Moreano right there. Tiny Nick looked like you were 4'2". Great job, by the way. I enjoyed that. Zach's incredibly likable. I'm rooting for him. It would be if he makes any level of contribution this year, that'd be huge for the defense.
Look, we got to stop ripping on Nick for what he looks like when he interviews these giant football players. He's going to stop doing it. Although, because I got your back, teammate, Carm, if you interview Jeff Joniak, you'd look probably pretty big next to him. Just saying.
Fired.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the super chat. Easy for me to say. How about this is a new contributor to the super chat world, I believe. $50 super chat coming in here from Chevy Wellington.
Not related to Bill Wennington. That's not funny, but kind of funny. Maybe a drop funny.
I was gonna go with the Ray Chevy reference. You went Bill Wennington. Whatever. They both work. He said, been worried about this O-line for years. I have a lot of problems with polls, but having that cap and never investing in one high offensive lineman, Nate Davis, quote, Braxton is cheap, so he's fine. Can't cut corners with starting left tackles, CJ Tunsil.
Chevy making the good point. I wonder if Ryan Poles is, I don't know, regretting anything along the lines that he's done as far as the offensive line right now. He's got to be a little bit nervous about it. But all right, team. Thank you, Gregory. All right, let's bring in the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment that I've been waiting for. And as you know, my dream in life is to be a ball boy at the U.S. Open. I mean, my real dream is to play in the U.S. Open. That has passed me by, unfortunately. In my next life, I will start hitting tennis balls when I'm 3 years old. I will demand it of my parents, and they will send me to tennis camp even if they are broke. But since I can't rewind time, I'm trying any way, shape, or form to get on the court. And the senior manager and also the director of the U.S. Open ball crew is with us now on the CHGO Bears podcast. His name is Neil Kitson. He's a former professional athlete himself, as you see him in his U.S. Open gear. And Neil, of course, took me and Nick Wright through drills, and there's a whole video out there from the First Things First crew where I do get to make a couple cameos there. Neil, thank you first off for making the time. Great to see you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
So Neil, how'd I do? And then these guys can have at it. Go, I mean, just break it down here.
You ready? Well, the video that was servicing didn't do yourself or Nick any justice, because you guys did well. You guys did well. Just that video didn't really show that. But no, you guys surprised myself and a couple of the supervisors, and it was great having you guys there.
Okay, you guys are hesitating, so I'm just going to keep asking questions. Neil, is it true that your oldest ball boy this year is 27? Is that accurate?
That is not accurate.
That's not accurate.
No.
How old is your oldest ball boy this year? Roughly.
Roughly, I would say in the 50s, probably.
So,
50s, yeah.
So I am in the age range of somebody that you would consider?
Yes, you are. I mean, the minimum is 14. You just have to be legally to work in New York State. Other than that, there is no age requirement or restriction.
And I don't want to get too personal here, but I will be 51 in August. So have you ever had like a 55-year-old out there per se?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. So Neil, what do you think it would take, for me to get out there? I'm assuming that unless you're about to burst out that Carm, you made the team this year, and you'll have to take 3 weeks off of the CHGO Bears podcast.
So definitely. So actually, spoke to my other supervisors. You are on the alternate list. We did put you on the alternate list for this year.
Wow.
You did. I'm being honest. You did. You surprised us. You did very well. So for next year, tryouts are in. If nothing works out for this year, 2025 U.S. Open. The tryouts are in middle of June. So we would have you apply to try out, and we would bring you in. We had 1,500 applicants this year. So, I mean, it is quite a few applicants that I need to go through with my team. But I would suggest applying for next year.
So Neil, what stood out about Mark? I mean, obviously, you get all these applicants. What did he do so well that made that he's an alternate? What was it about his tryout?
Again, that video did not do him justice. I mean, he was actually a lot faster than I thought. His hand-eye coordination was good. Very quick reading, his agility on the court when, the ball hits the net. He was able to adjust very quickly. So he did really well. And, him and they were on a court with people who had done the men's finals the last 2 years, and they didn't look out of place. They looked well. Not going over here saying he could do the final right now, but I mean he did pretty well.
Well, let's not give Carm too much credit. He is used to having his shots hit the net, so he knows exactly how they bounce off the net and where they usually bounce. So he's used to that. All right, getting away from Carm here just a little bit, what are the things for people that might not have seen that video? We put it out on our account yesterday, so you could see the video of Mark Carman, Nick Wright going through what they went through. But what are some of the things that you're looking for? Because this is a real evaluation. These are real tryouts that you guys do, in June to find the best ball boys out there. What are you looking for during these evaluations?
So it is ball crew, just not to correct you, but ball crew. So both boys and girls, men and women are eligible for the team. We're looking for those that have good hand-eye coordination, athletic, fast, able to roll the ball as smooth as possible. It's the job of ball crew is transition from point to point, right? So we're trying to get that done as seamlessly as possible. So those that are able to do that, I mean, that's what we're looking for.
Greg Bragg's having a field day here with his clearly, he calls me the pregnant worm, Neil, my great teammate, which one of the pictures that we took from there, I do have to work on my posture. That's fine, Braggs. You're not wrong. Yeah. Look, I don't know where else to go. I'm overwhelmed right now, so you guys can continue on.
Well, Neil, I am wondering how one who's considered an alternate ends up getting thrown in there.
So we do have. So again, like I said, we had last year we had about 320 ball crew members, where we brought back about 210, 215, and then so we were looking for that sweet spot of about 100 to bring in this year, new bodies, and again we had 1,500 applicants. That was brought down to 400 that were invited to tryouts, and then we selected 100 out of those 400. So, we need people, if people drop out for availability reasons, a lot of these, school starts for those that are in school still. So their availability may change from time to time. So that's really how we also have deadlines for them to get certain documentation done. And, if someone's failing to do that, it's not really someone I want on the team. So
I got to be honest. I think that the crew looks amazing, and I'm just absolutely overwhelmed to be considered an alternate. But I did see some people who I thought might be lacking something, Neil. So I am available. Just you have my number, and look at there it is. I look at home right there with everybody. I think to be in that crew, it quite frankly brings another tear to my. There's good old Nick who did start this. Nick really wants in here too, Neil. He's talking about next year and the whole thing and taking up tennis.
No, he can definitely try out. I mean, it was painful at times. I think he did something to his back, but no, he did great too.
From what I saw from that video, good old Nick was not moving around that well. He looked like he walked in there hurt with something.
Yeah, no comment. Really nice guy. He looked like he was struggling a little bit, though.
Nick beached a wave runner on vacation on some sandbar, and his brilliant idea was to try to push the thing off, and he did it for about an hour, and he did something to his back, and so he will. There's a better Nick right out there, but it was painful watching it. But I was like, yeah, you should. I tried actually talking about it, like, dude, we can do this like a month from now if they'll let us, and not come at this time. But to his credit, he's rolled through. Neil, you're a former professional athlete, right? I mean, you know talent when you see it. You played MLS soccer, correct?
Yes, once upon a time. I played soccer here in the United States and over in England. So I had a brief 6-year career. But after that, I went into coaching, into player development and such. And now I'm over here identifying talent for the U.S. Open.
I mean, that's one of the greatest runs in the history of humanity, as far as I'm concerned. That's a good job right there.
Well, in all seriousness, Neil, I've known that man for about 16 years now, and he has talked about this as being like his legitimate dream of being part of the ball crew at the U.S. Open. So even just getting that shot to be there and do that video with you guys, I know it meant the world to him, and it was fun for us to follow along and poke some fun along the way too. But very, very cool. And Carm, sounds like you got goals here. Sounds like you have a real list. You should be thinking about one thing outside of the show. Please keep working on this show. But other than that, you should be thinking about one thing between now and June. I think Happy Gilmore once said 365 the next days until next year's hockey tryouts. That should be your mentality.
Thank you. You're absolutely right, Adam. 100%. Neil, I can't thank you enough. It was a ton of fun. And hey, if I get the call, great. If not, I will be there rooting you guys on and cheering from the sidelines. And I'm gonna find you and say hello. So looking forward to the tournament.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Neil Kitson, my guy. Thanks, Neil. You're the best. All right.
That was awesome.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know if I can talk.
What are your emotions right now? Did you know you were an alternate already? Is that and also I still can't tell throughout this whole thing. Is that real or not?
I see. This is where I think that I'm a legit alternate, and
I think you are too.
Yeah,
same. I think that I literally have a chance to make it next year. That's how I'm taking that as a for real. So
I think you do too.
So which is why.
And I think you should also be thinking about ways to make sure that a certain amount of the actual ball crew somehow don't. I don't know if they come down with some illnesses coming up to the U.S. Open or what happens. It sounds like there's an opening there for an alternate if some things happen.
Well, and I'm going the first couple of days of the tournament, so I'm thinking if I heckle some of them, it just in disguise. You look tired, something.
Sabotage.
I think I can change the mojo. You don't have. That might not be the
everybody's
best move,
paying attention to the match, and you're just in the corner. Like the first time person from the ball crew bobbles a tennis ball, you're like in their face. You're better than that. You're better than that. Get out of here.
That's
Let me
right.
do your job.
Yeah. It's not that this is you look like a qualifier tournament guy. This is the U.S. Open. What's going on here? Come on, chop. Yeah, maybe hire Braggs to heckle him is a good call by Gritty. Okay,
Look at Chevy.
He's coming back for more.
$100, Chevy Wellington, jumping in here, keeping us back on track with the Chicago Bears. He says, so are we all not perplexed / worried by Poles refusing to get high-end players to protect his young quarterbacks? Carm, you're hilarious. Hoge, you're realistic. Nick, you're wise beyond your years. And Braggs, you're not there. You're just awesome. Go, Caleb.
That
Well, look, he invested top 10, right? They got Darnell right, but yeah, I think going back to we were having the conversation of everything this offseason that Poles has done. a lot has made sense in terms of putting Caleb in a good situation. But it is, like you were saying, Adam, July 29th. We don't know who the starting center is going to be. We still don't have certainty on the right guard position because Nate Davis is just a little bit unreliable. So of all the things that are part of this plan to put Caleb in a position to have a soft landing spot, the offensive line is still the biggest question out of all of it right now. So there's definitely things to be concerned about. And again, just you have questions of the process. So I get where you're coming from, Chevy. There is definitely concerns about the O-line.
Well, I see both sides of this because, one, it is well, let me start with this side of it first. I mean, the one thing we've learned about Ryan Poles now in 3 off seasons is he picks his spots. He's, compared to what we're seeing on Hard Knocks with Joe Shane, very disciplined on not giving into certain demands, letting players move on in free agency if they're, beyond where they put the cap on what they're willing to pay them. We've seen them be interested in a Mike McGlinchey before, and he gets overpaid, so they get out. And I think that long term, that is going to be a wise approach and leave them with more cap space than other teams who start to get crazy with contracts. We saw this with the last regime, guys. People forget that Ryan Pace was cautious, was relatively disciplined early on. And then they got into, and it was really the 2020 free agency period where all of a sudden it was like urgency kicked in, and all of a sudden they're paying for guys over 30 years old, which they'd never really done. They gave a whole bunch of money out, and then it was Ryan Poles that had to come in and clean all that up. So I think that overall that's a good approach. Now, what's being brought up in the Super Chat by Chevy there, though, this is still all about Caleb. So if there is one area where you're like, it might be okay to dip in a little bit here, it would be to make sure that your quarterback stays upright and stays healthy. Now, I do think they are making strides. I do think this offensive line should overall be better, but I also understand, because I started the show with this, a little uneasy about the interior depth, which was such an issue last year too. And as good as it is to see Tevin Jenkins out there at every practice, there's the availability concerns on that side too. It's not just Nate Davis, it's also Tevin. So I get it.
And shout out to Tevin, by the way. I was watching him today, and one of the drills they do, they have 2 guys crashing into one offensive lineman, and he's holding this big pad, and it's physical out there. Tevin was, I thought he looked, strong and good and flexible today. So, and I'm rooting for Tevin. I think everybody is, because Tevin just comes across as a great dude. But he's never played more than 11 games in a season, so we'll see. By the way, shout out to After Dark tonight. Big show coming up at 7 with Gregory P. Allen Braggs, Corey Wooten, and Adam Rank on the show tonight. Big show tonight at 7. So when we're done here in a couple of minutes, you'll have less than 4 hours before that fine-looking gentleman with all his wisdom will be entertaining you along with Woot and Adam tonight. Just for my wrapping up the offensive line thing, when going into training camp this year, and we talked about a lot in the offseason, are you more confident in the offensive line or are you more confident in the defensive line? And I'd have to check the tape, but I think I said a D-line a bunch that I was more worried about the D-line. And early going here, Montez Sweat's causing problems. Jermon Dexter looks like he's going to take I don't know how big of a jump, but he's going to take a jump here in year 2. And if Andrew Billings can at least make teams jump off sides, it's 10% as much as he does it to the Bears, that'd be a good thing. So I don't know, right now I think it's pretty clear that in the trenches, the D-line is ahead of the O-line.
I mean, I think the D's ahead of the offense everywhere.
That's sure.
I get the low red is hard to get guys open, but we were watching 7-on-7s today, and I'm like, you're telling me that Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore, and Roma Dunze can't get open here? I don't think that's on them. 2 of those 3 guys are already well-established NFL veterans who we know are good, and the other one's a top 10 pick. So I don't know if this just means the defense is this good or what, but it just seemed, because I didn't look at that as that was Caleb's fault. I didn't see guys who were open. today. And then finally, you got a couple nice shots. Caleb went through the throw to Keenan Allen in the back of the end zone, which was nice, and there were some adjustments there. They had a quick option that they went away from, and then he ended up finding Keenan coming over the middle. And then the shot to Rome that we talked about at the start in the back corner was a nice throw. But, I mean, other than that, it was slim pickings to even get guys open to throw the ball to. And I'm hoping that this is a testament to how good this defense can be across the board. But only the regular season's going to, kind of give us the answers on that. Let's fly through some supers here as we are.
I got to get to my burpees and start working here. So let's go.
Yeah, you got.
Chop.
Sure. You'll be the first burpee you've ever done in your life. Football CF Candy with 199 pounds sterling. Can the Bears sign Connor Williams? Any Flus Blitz questions? Flus didn't talk today. Caleb did talk about is that about the Bears defense or I don't know. The Bears can sign whoever they want.
Connor Williams, true center.
Ain't happening. But it's a great thought, CF Candy. Does not seem like it's happening. Same thing that the whole offseason with Yannick Ngakoue on the other side of the ball.
Putting a center in there last minute, a new center last minute with rookie quarterback does not seem like a good idea to me. If they're going to do something like that, they better do it soon. Seth Crane has an idea, $5. Trade for Tristan Wirfs. Put the Bash Bros back together, Tevin and Wright. Kick Braxton inside. No clue if this would work, but it sounds nice. Yeah.
How old is Wirfs? 30?
He's 25. Yeah.
25.
Yeah, 25. He's still young. He's looking to get
Iowa
paid.
guy. Let's go. One of the best tackles
I
in the
don't
NFL.
know that they're going to trade him, but they do need to work that out there. Long list of guys that are trying to get new contracts here as training camp is underway. I did find it interesting, though, that Austin Booker went straight to Braxton Jones when asked who's the toughest guy he's faced so far.
That
gave
was
him
cool.
a lot of praise for his punch, which Braxton was actually kind of critical of himself for yesterday, or at least saying that's what he's really working on. So that was an interesting comment from Austin Booker, who seems very confident, Austin Booker, about his abilities.
I have never, and we shout out to Austin. We've had him in studio, and which was super enjoyable. He is Austin Booker believes in Austin Booker, and you better believe in yourself if you're playing on that level. So good for him. But holy Moses, this is a confident cat especially for a 5th-round pick.
Quackinator 100 $5 super chat and a great point here. He says Flus gave y'all lemonade, so Brax can't fire him until like week 8 or 9 now.
It's a good benchmark, yeah. Around that time.
I don't think that Greg is going to have that balanced demeanor if this thing starts out 0-3. Not saying it will, but if it does, Gregory will be screaming from the highest Gregory. He'll be screaming from his above ground pool.
I saw some graphic. Someone texted it to me that Adam Ranks got the Bears going 12-5. So,
Oh boy,
so you can hear all about that with Braggs on After Dark.
that'll be a fun conversation.
That's light for the Rankathon. I would think he'd be at least at 13-4.
Christopher jumps in here and says CHGO stands for Carm has great observations.
Wow.
I love you.
And then Crystal with the $50 super.
Wow.
Cheers, Crystal.
Let's go Carm. #Team Carm. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for you on the show.
I mean, I feel so warm inside, and then I just, unfortunately, as I look to the left and I see that chat, somehow in green to my right, Pizzatola pops up and ruins it with his $5 Pizzatola.
It says, Carm, your best chance to be on the ball team is to take the next year off from CHGO to practice and get in shape. Good luck. See ya in a year.
You know, Pizzatola, if I did that, you'd miss me, buddy. Don't think you wouldn't.
I was, for a split second there, I was worried he was about to tell me that he was taking you from us for 3 weeks right as football season's starting. And I was like, oh, great.
That's a problem.
This is going to be a scheduling nightmare.
I would just have to, there's 90-minute interludes of breaks. I would just have to do my 90 minutes contribution from the U.S. Open in uniform. It could be great. I would sell it that it'd be good for the show.
Great content.
We might have to move the timing around. We'll figure it out next year when I make the team.
Because just as the Bears season started, that's what people want to hear about. Carm's ball crew.
Mm-hmm.
Pizzatola wants to know whether I rolled it well or didn't. I know he does.
Bragg's in the stands. $2. I'm proud of you, Carm. Hell of accomplishment.
That's my guy.
Almost seems genuine.
I'm assuming Gregory's going to join me and not go to Hoge Mansion one of these shows, and we can hang out and stare at each other during the program. It would mean so much to me, Greg. Have a good show tonight.
One more from Chevy. Chevy's coming through.
Man.
You wonder about what's happening here with Chevy. $20. No.
Bring your own.
Braggs is not
I
there.
think he meant no, guys. Braggs is not there. That's just us.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is a joke because we love him.
Oh, I thought he was saying he's not here. You're just awesome. But instead, it's Braggs is not there. That's awesome.
I mean, deep down, I miss Greg, but, you know,
Yeah.
you bury your dead. Got to move forward.
Also, After Dark.
Yes.
It's coming.
Where he will rise again.
Yeah.
Back alive, as he will be tomorrow from training camp. Bragg's in the stands, baby.
After Dark's gonna take on new level of meaning next week when Hard Knocks comes out. It's gonna be the Hard Knocks after show.
I'm really excited about. I'm wondering if the team's going to come off boring, because the cameras have been out there. Nothing's really happened, so I'm wondering what.
I have the complete opposite take of what you just
Really?
said. The amount of things I have seen the cameras be in the middle of. If the first episode sucks, that's on the Hard Knocks crew because they got plenty of content, and also, what?
Like what? Give me. I
Like when
watched,
Dexter's yelling at the offensive line the other day in one-on-ones when he got all hot. Like, that's just one example. There's been something like that every single day.
Let me be clear. I think that Bears fans are going to absolutely love it. I'm wondering if it's going to register nationally. I mean, I'm going to love it because, Bears. But I'm hoping that I want us to show well. I don't know why I care about that, but I want us nationally to show well.
There's going to be a whole episode on DeMarcus Walker, and people are going to have conflicting opinions on him. But he's interesting in how loud he is every single practice. So there'll be something. And Cole Kmet, hey, he was rocking a CHGO shirt at the Wrigley Field, too. So
yeah, that's the only
Hard
thing I
Knocks.
care about that makes it. Jonathan Owens said on Good Morning Football this morning that the Hard Knocks crew is going to follow him to the airport. He's flying to Paris tonight. And apparently there's some members of the Bears crew that's going with him to film some stuff too while he's there. So could get some behind the scenes stuff. It was pretty remarkable watching Simone Biles last night. I don't know if you guys were watching that at all and just being like, there's a Bears player married to her.
I started watching.
Crazy.
I started watching the documentary today. I now know where Jonathan and Simone Biles live. It looks they're building a house in Houston. It looks lovely. I'd move in with them if they'd have me.
Why do you always got to make it weird?
Because they got a sweet kitchen. It looks amazing.
just the kitchen.
I'll
take up the kitchen.
If I can never make the money to afford one of those houses, I just want to have like a sweet friend who will like give me a coach house in the back, and then I have access to like the stainless steel stuff and their steam showers and pool. That's what I want.
All right, loaf by me off the top of the show. We are getting closer and closer to 58,000 YouTube subscribers, and I think we started this show with about 60 away from 58,000, and we are now down to 49 to go. So we've picked some up here in the middle of the show without me even asking for them. But if you are watching for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. For those of you that are diehards, that are here all the time, it's a very simple ask, but hit the little share button on YouTube, copy that link, send it to a Bears fan that you know, and just say, hey, hit the subscribe button, come join the CHGO crew. I feel very confident in saying the best daily training camp recap shows that exist out there, breaking it all down for you, and we're going to keep this thing rolling. Feels like we've been in camp for like 2 weeks already, and now I'm looking up and it's July 20th. It's not even August.
It's a grind. It's a grind, guys.
I love it though. Like, yeah, I got to be honest. I had a great day yesterday with my family. Did some things that on the lake that I've been waiting to do for weeks, and there was still part of me in the back of my head that was like, yeah, I kind of miss not having camp today.
Nobody needed an off day yesterday like I did, and I had a day off last week to try out for the U.S. Open. I was like, oh my God, thank you. But then today I woke up, I was excited to go to camp, for the record. So I was like, I just needed a day. We're good. Let's go. I was excited to see you cuties today.
Fans will be back out there tomorrow. Braggs will be back out there, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys. So if you're out there, Pizzatola says, thanks for another great show. Steven and Hoge. Excellent interview, Nick.
He's so consistent.
This guy's so good. He's such a Pizzatola.
Yeah. Please hit that like button, too. I was trying to say, if you're going to be out of camp tomorrow, please say hello. There's rumors out there that the entire Hoge clan is going to be at practice tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Source?
You really sounded unenthused about your family coming tomorrow. That it's going to distract you from your business, isn't it? You're going to have to spend too much time with the fam. It's okay. You can admit it.
I'm setting about 10:30 I got to lock it in on practice. They don't do much the first hour. It's like I'll walk through and.
Listen, you can say 10:30 all you want. You're neurotic from the minute you enter that place. That's the way you do your business. There is no relaxing around Hoge at Bears training camp.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go spend the next 4 hours training my 10-year-old on how to observe and take notes about offensive line, D line, one-on-ones. Might as well put him to work.
I think you should. And by the way, if he gets bored with his dad tomorrow, I'm happy to hang out with James for a period of time. I'll teach him all the football that he hasn't learned yet. He's
actually going with a friend, and his dad is a loyal viewer of this show, probably watching it right now. So he's going to be fine whether I'm with them or not. They're going to have a fun time tomorrow. And shout out to Larry, CHGO loyalist. We appreciate it. We're out of here. Enjoyed the show today. Good to hear from Zack Pickens, Neil from the U.S. Open. Still not sure if Carm's really an alternate or not, but he is for us. He is. Mm-hmm. He's
second to none.
I mean, that's how I always think about him. Just an alternate.
Say goodbye, Hoge.
Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.